Mila, I think the bottleneck just officially shifted. For the last 2 years, the race was about model quality. Now it's about something else entirely.
It's about getting the models to actually do anything, the last mile.
The last 10,000 miles. I'm Milo.
I'm Mila.
This is AI Daily.
Coming up, we'll talk about the hardware stack that just went live for Anthropic's Claude. But later in the show, why the CEO of an autonomous driving company believes Europe, not the US, is about to have its Robotaxi moment.
Okay, let's start with that bottleneck. This morning, Amazon Web Services announced it's creating a new division called the Forward Deployed Engineering Organization.
And they're backing it with an initial investment of $1 billion. The mission is to embed AWS AI experts directly with customers on site to get AI systems out of the lab and into production.
They're not consultants who write a report and leave. These are engineers, including some who build the core AWS AI services, who will work inside a customer's teams to build and deploy systems using the customer's own data and security protocols.
Amazon's announcement says this is a response to customers moving past just exploring AI and wanting to make it core to their business. The problem is, that's hard. It's one thing to have a great model API. It's another to securely connect it to your internal databases, your user authentication, and your existing workflows. That's where projects stall.
Right, and they're framing the solution as agentic first. The stated goal is to use AI agents to help build other AI agent solutions, compressing deployment timelines from months down to just days. It's an interesting recursive idea. Use the thing to build the thing faster.
The business model is also different. The announcement mentions deployments are structured around shared business goals, not billable hours. That's a direct shot at the traditional consulting model. They're selling outcomes, not time. The sentence that stood out to me was that the goal is to leave customers self-sufficient when the deployment ends.
The idea of being embedded with a customer, it feels efficient. You get access to the real-world constraints and data flows you can't simulate in a lab. You learn a lot very quickly.
And for $1 billion, Amazon is betting that what they learn and what their customers build is the key to winning the platform war. It's not just about having the best model, it's about having the most models in production.
So if Amazon is focused on the human side of deployment, our next story is about the hardware. Yesterday, NVIDIA and Microsoft announced that Anthropic's Claude models are now generally available on Azure, running on NVIDIA's latest hardware.
And when they say latest, they mean the absolute top of the line. This is Claude running on NVIDIA's GB300 Blackwell Ultra GPUs, specifically on the NVL72 rack scale systems, all connected with Quantum X800 InfiniBand networking. That's the architecture designed for maximum performance and efficiency in massive data centers.
Unpack that. What does running on that specific stack get you that you couldn't get before?
It's about moving beyond single queries to running complex, autonomous AI agents at an enterprise scale. An agent might need to make dozens of model calls to complete one task, and it might need to access specialized tools. This kind of hardware is designed for the high-throughput, low-latency inference that requires. It's the difference between a chatbot that answers a question and a system that can autonomously manage a business process.
The announcement from Microsoft frames this as giving enterprises a trusted path to production. They can build with a frontier model like Claude, but inside their existing Azure account, with all the security, billing, and governance controls they already use. It removes a major layer of friction.
And NVIDIA is integrating its own tools into Anthropic Stack. They mentioned something called NVIDIA Verified Agent Skills, which lets companies give Claude agents domain-specific abilities that are hardware accelerated. So you could have an agent for, say, pharmaceutical research that has a skill for molecular dynamic simulation, and that skill runs on optimized NVIDIA hardware.
This feels like the entire ecosystem solidifying. Anthropic provides the model, NVIDIA provides the silicon and the software layer, and Microsoft provides the enterprise cloud infrastructure. 3 different companies, 1 integrated stack.
That's the play. The open question is how much performance gain you actually see on real-world tasks. But making the most powerful models available on the most powerful hardware is the necessary first step. Okay, so for our third story, we're moving from the data center to the street. The CEO of Israeli autonomous driving firm Autobrains, Yigal Rachel Gals, was speaking today at a Reuters conference in Frankfurt.
And he made a specific prediction. He said that 2026 and 2027 is going to be an inflection point for Europe in terms of robotaxis. He sees the technology becoming far more visible across the region within the next 2 years.
Which is a bold claim, because the conventional wisdom is that the US is way ahead, with services from Waymo and others already operating in several cities. Europe has been seen as a slower, more complex market.
Rachel Gao sees that complexity as an advantage. He said Europe's regulatory framework sets the highest bar for autonomous driving. His argument is, if we reach it there, we can reach it everywhere. It's a counterintuitive take that the harder market is actually the better one to conquer first.
Autobrains is focused on what it calls agentic AI for self-driving, which it claims is a lower-cost approach that relies less on expensive sensors. Their big move was a partnership announced earlier in June with Uber and NVIDIA to launch a Robotaxi pilot in Munich.
And that location seems key. Rachel Gauss noted that being in Europe puts them physically closer to major automakers, like BMW, which is headquartered right there in Munich. They're not just trying to build a robotaxi service, they're trying to sell their technology to the incumbent car industry.
So the prediction isn't just optimism, it's a strategy. Bet on the market with the toughest regulations and the closest proximity to the big industrial partners.
It's still just a forecast, but it's a sign that the race for autonomous mobility in Europe might be heating up faster than many expected.
All right, let's look at what else is happening in AI today.
A report in the Financial Times claims Google has had to place limits on Meta's use of its Gemini AI models. The reason? It couldn't provide as much computing capacity as Meta wanted to buy, reportedly delaying some of Meta's internal projects.
A reminder that even for the biggest players, compute is a finite resource. Also from the Google ecosystem, there's more analysis out today on last week's announcement of a partnership between Google DeepMind and the film studio A24. DeepMind is investing $75 million to embed its researchers directly into A24 productions to get feedback on its creative AI tools.
And that's our show.
We are AI Daily, and tomorrow we will be back with more.